Yeah, so Cowboys, how many touchdowns you guys score in your first 3 home games? Tell you, it was a lot more than one. Let's get this thing going.
They don't want to do that tonight. Prescott in trouble, and down he goes. Ryland will try from 48. Good snap, good hold. The kick is the extra offensive lineman back in there. Jumbo formation, and there he is. Harrison, field goal range for Aubrey. It's 3rd down and 17. Here is Ferguson. Goes out. O'Donnell has it blocked. Into the end zone in a race. And a touchdown. Brissett, touchdown. Good snap, good hold. And the kick is no good from the 26. Brissett going to go right back to the air. He's got Wilson. And Wilson inside Dallas territory. 1st and goal from the 12. Brissett lets it fly. End zone, McBride, touchdown. The end of the first half. And able to knock it through. 4th down and 4. And they pick it up. Waiting for the ball. And it's knocked away. C.D. Lamb was the target. Now from the 5. Prescott, end zone. Flanoy, touchdown. Extra men on the rush. Javonte Williams. Strong tackle on the edge by the rookie Will Johnson. Ball is out. Prescott just trying to buy time. Sweat chasing him. Downfield jump ball picked off.
And with that, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Fun NFL. Please like and subscribe if you guys enjoy the Week 9 Monday Night Football recap. Again, you guys just saw the highlights from that game. It was a pretty interesting one. What was the last game of the first half of the regular season? Thankfully, this year it lines up perfectly where our NFL trade deadline is that same week, so it's not a little bit earlier in the season. Again, exactly halfway through the season. But I'll be talking about the trade deadline a lot more tomorrow with the power rankings. But again, the Cowboys already made a move, which I guess we can kind of break down here as well. But as you guys saw, the Cardinals were able to stun the Cowboys. Honestly, that's probably the best way to put it, as their defense came out super hard, super aggressive, and they were really able to take that energy throughout the rest of the game as they held them to only one touchdown, which they scored with 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. As the Cardinals snapped their 5-game losing streak, win their first game since September 14th, and go into Seattle next week with again, at least decent spot. Cowboys are now going to have now lost two straight games. They lose their first home game of the season. It's their first home game where they did not score 40 points, as their offense struggles seem to carry over from that game in Denver, as they again fall to 3-5-1. I don't really know, they were pretty bad last year, so never mind. The Eagles though, they look more and more like they're winning that division. I think they're now 2.5 at least games up on the Cowboys in that division. It's so crazy the Cowboys are in second place though. Other than that though, for the Cowboys, They are going to their bye week. They have a lot of questions that they need to answer coming out of that. But again, that defense is not looking good. What did I say for the Cardinals? Offensively, big things that I saw was the fact that Jacoby Brissett, that's who it is. He needs to be their starter the rest of the season until he starts to suck because, again, dismissing last year, he's been the most competent. He's been a pretty competent cornerback, and in this offense, he's just simply much more effective passer than Kyler has been this season. The offensive yardage and statistically have been better. With him at quarterback. Also, you saw, even though they weren't the most explosive offense, the Michael Wilson had a big play. He was just on time with everything. He was making throws over the middle. He was anticipating really well. That is what you need out of a quarterback, and he's been able to do that for them. Running game wasn't fantastic, but Amari DiMarcano made some nice runs. He's obviously their most talented, healthy running back remaining. So, I mean, they're going to have to try to figure something out there. Jacoby Brissett, he did score on a QB sneak. Marvin Harrison had his best game of the season. He absolutely juked the shoes out of Deron Bland on that touchdown. It was absolutely insane, but he went for 7 for 96. You did hear all about, Marvin Harrison Sr. Pregame and all those quotes. It seemed that Jacoby Brissett was able to, answer those pretty well. Trey McBride continues to put up good numbers with a touchdown as well. For this defense, Denzel Burke was very physical, and I think that really, again, helped him because this season he's really struggled in zone to be consistently being able to, again, get out to that boundary and get depth. But in this game, when he was a lot more sort of like able to be fluid and almost kind of like be a little bit less rigid than he usually is, it kind of like opened up his aggressiveness, and then the physicality started to come in, which was really fun to see. Will Johnson had his best game of the season. I think he might have given up like 2 catches, and even then they were just like cookie cutter plays. He barely gave any separation. He had a really good game. Walter Nolan got a lot of pressure. I think he had like 4 or 5 pressures. Calais Campbell, again, one of his sacks is definitely a cleanup one, but still, for a guy who's 40, you're really not going to talk about that much about him like that. Buda Baker, Jalen Thompson were both good as well. Obviously, those are their 2 best probably defensive players. Josh Sweat got really good pressure as well. Simply put, guys, these guys were winning with finesse moves and speed rushes super duper well. We saw like Sweat moves from a guy like Walter Nolan, even a guy like Akeem Davis-Gaither, who's obviously not even a starter, obviously not even a pass rusher at linebacker. He was still winning with, again, a swipe move there. So again, specifically with him, but they got a lot of different pressure with a lot of different speed variations, which was very cool. For the Cowboys, again, I already talked about their offense, put it up an absolute stinker. Dak Prescott overall, he was definitely effective outside the numbers in this game. Usually you're not used to seeing that from him when, again, the offense struggles like this. But what it came down to was the fact they really didn't lean into this running game the way I wanted them to. Yes, Javonte Williams had 83 yards on 15 carries, but it was not really the stat line that you can, like, the way you would want to see it, especially on film. The offensive line, they were okay, but they really, again, as a run blocking unit, but they really weren't good enough. And I think Terrence Steele not being able to be used the way that he usually is, especially against this Cardinals D line, was definitely limiting what this offense could do. Receiving wise, CeeDee Lamb didn't have a great game. George Pickens didn't have a really good game either. Again, I understand their numbers aren't bad, but you're expecting more out of these guys in terms of, again, finishing off drives. Jake Ferguson, inexcusable fumble. Ryan Flanoria had their only touchdown. Simply put, guys, this offense wasn't able to finish off drives as a lot of them still stalled out. They did have 330 yards of offense, so it wasn't like they weren't moving the ball. But again, you guys saw 3 crucial turnovers in the other half of the field. That will lose you games. Defensively, they were pretty bad. I mean, what do you want me to tell you guys? Deron Bland played absolutely atrocious. He got targeted like 10 times, I think. Kenny Clark had 5 tackles and a sack. He won't be asked to do much pass rushing next week. You'll see why. Javian Clowney also had 5 tackles and a sack. Again, it's pretty crazy. He's still around doing this thing, but again, he had a pretty good game. Really, the pressure, I think, was a little bit inflated, but Dante Fowler had a really good game overall. I would like to see this secondary not be as bad as they are, but again, you can't really expect that much. Again, there were just so many wide open receivers over the middle, just so many, again, like mishaps in coverage that are just kind of inexcusable for me. At the end of the day, again, the Cowboys didn't finish off drives, and they made some crucial mistakes. Cardinals, if it wasn't for that block punt, probably would have won this game by 3 scores. That's all I got for you guys here. I hope you guys enjoyed this game in some sense. It wasn't the worst Monday night game we've had all year. But again, obviously, for the Cowboys, they did just trade for Quinnen Williams. I was going to bring that up, but yeah, I'll say that. We'll get more coverage of that tomorrow for the power rankings, but I hope you guys, again, enjoy your night and see you all for that tomorrow, and I'll break down the trade deadline.
With football on the road, a 3:30 start on the gridiron at Miami. Anthony, nice pass, threading it in to Donnie Freeman.